welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting happening in the crypto space over in Asia.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye. We're talking about a recent development, specifically the launch of the Hashkey XRP tracker fund.
Exactly. And it feels like, well, maybe more than just another fund launch. Hashkey Capital is behind it, and significantly, Ripple is backing them.
That's the core of it. Our main source here is an article from Finance Magnates dated April 18th, 2025. The title sums it up. Ripple backs Asia's first XRP tracker fund launched by Hashkey Capital.
Right. So that's our foundation for this discussion. And for everyone listening, our goal, as always, to unpack this. What does it really mean? Why should you care?
And we'll try to cut through the jargon, get straight to the key insights.
So let's quickly set the stage. Key players. Hashkey Capital. They're a virtual asset management company.
Dealing with digital assets, cryptocurrencies, that kind of thing, managing investments in that space.
And then there's Ripple. Most people have probably heard of them, blockchain, payments, and of course the creators of XRP.
And crucially, this isn't just Hashkey doing its own thing. It's a partnership, a collaboration.
Yeah, that's clear. So the headline news, Hashkey Capital rolls out Asia's first XRP tracker fund. Ripple's in as an early investor.
And the fund's purpose is pretty straightforward, right? It aims to track the price of XRP, follow its ups and downs.
Okay, so let's dig in a bit. What makes this launch stand out right now?
Well, a big piece of the puzzle is the regulatory side. Hashkey Capital actually got some important licenses in Hong Kong recently.
Oh, right, from the Securities and Futures Commission, the SFC.
Exactly. They secured a Type 4 license and, significantly, an upgraded Type 9 license. This was last year, I believe.
And these licenses, they're kind of a big deal. What do they actually let Hashkey do?
They really are. The Type 4 lets them advise on securities, but the upgraded Type 9 is the key one here. It allows them to manage portfolios, specifically including virtual assets.
Okay. So they can manage crypto investments for others.
Yes, and importantly, the upgrade potentially opens the door not just for institutional clients, but eventually retail investors too. It shows they're playing within the regulated sandbox in Hong Kong.
Interesting. But this new XRP fund, the article mentions it's for professional investors initially.
That's right. For now, it's not open to everyone. Think institutions, investment firms, maybe very wealthy individuals who meet certain criteria.
Okay. So, professional investors. And how does a tracker fund work for them in simple terms? Is it like an ETF?
It's similar in concept to an ETF, yeah. Basically, it's a vehicle designed to mirror the price performance of XRP.
So instead of buying XRP directly, storing it, worrying about wallets and all that.
Exactly. They invest in this fund. And Hashkey, the manager, handles the underlying mechanics to ensure the fund's value tracks XRP's price. It's about gaining exposure easily.
Right. Simplifies things for the big players.
Correct.
Okay. And XRP itself, remind us where it fits in the crypto hierarchy.
Sure. Currently, based on market cap, the total value it's sitting as the third largest crypto.
Just behind Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Correct. But it's not just about size. It's known for its specific use case.
Which is primarily focused on cross-border payments, right? Helping banks and financial institutions move money internationally.
Precisely. The idea is to make those transfers faster and cheaper than, the traditional systems like wire transfers, which can be slow and costly.
Yeah, cutting out some of the middlemen, using the blockchain.
That's the core value proposition. It aims to improve that whole process.
And Ripple, naturally, has a view on this fund launch. The article quotes Fiona Murray from Ripple.
Ah, yes, the managing director for APAC.
She mentions significant demand from institutional investors in the Asia-Pacific region. They want regulated crypto products.
Which makes perfect sense. Institutions need that regulatory clarity, that structure they're used to. They can't just dive into unregulated assets easily.
So this fund is basically designed to meet that exact demand, a regulated way to get XRP exposure.
It really acts as a bridge, connecting that institutional demand with the XRP asset within a framework they understand and trust.
And Hashkey themselves seem to see it that way too. They mentioned it aligns with their goal of bridging, what was the phrase? TradFi and Web3.
Yeah, traditional finance and Web3, the sort of blockchain-based internet future. They explicitly state this fund helps connect those two worlds.
So it's a strategic move for them, not just a product launch.
Definitely seems that way. It's about building infrastructure for this convergence.
Okay, so how does someone actually get into this fund? If you're a professional investor, that is.
The article mentions monthly subscriptions. Investors can put money in each month.
Using regular cash?
Yes, cash. Or, interestingly, in-kind contributions.
In kind. So they could potentially contribute other assets, maybe even other cryptos like Bitcoin.
Potentially, yeah. The article doesn't specify which assets, but in-kind usually means contributing assets other than cash. It adds a layer of flexibility.
Interesting. And how do they figure out the price? How is the fund valued day to day?
They're using CF Benchmark for the pricing.
Okay, CF Benchmark, are they well known?
They are, yeah. They provide cryptocurrency index products and benchmarks pretty respected in the US and Asia Pacific. Using them adds credibility.
Right, so it's not some internal OP calculation.
Yeah.
It's based on a recognized benchmark.
Exactly. Provides transparency and standardization.
Now, you mentioned earlier this isn't Hashkey's very first tracker fund, is it?
No, that's right. This is actually their third one. They've already launched similar funds for Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Oh, okay. Who did they partner with for those?
Those were done in collaboration with a company called Buzera.
So they have some experience, a track record in setting these up.
Absolutely. It suggests they know the mechanics, the operational side of running these tracker funds. It's not entirely new territory for them.
That definitely adds weight. And it sounds like this partnership with Ripple might have more legs. It's not just for this one fund.
The signs point that way. The article suggests Hashkey and Ripple are planning further collaboration.
Leveraging each other's strengths, presumably. Hashkey's asset management and Ripple's blockchain tech.
That seems to be the idea. Combining Hashkey's expertise in managing assets within regulated structures with Ripple's deep knowledge of blockchain and digital payments.
So we could potentially see more products or initiatives from them together down the road.
It certainly hints at that possibility, makes you wonder what else they might cook up together. This could just be the start.
Okay, quite a lot to digest there. If we were to boil it down, what are the absolute must-know takeaways for our listeners?
I'd say first, Asia's got its first XRP tracker fund. It's from Hashkey, Ripple's backing it, and it gives professional investors regulated exposure to XRP's price.
Right, exposure without direct ownership hassle.
Exactly. And second, this really highlights that ongoing convergence, traditional finance meeting crypto, especially in Asia, and particularly around that cross-border payment theme XRP is known for.
And why is this specific fund a big deal? Why should listeners keep an eye on this?
Well, it's part of a bigger trend. Institutions are getting more interested in digital assets, but they need regulated, familiar ways to invest.
Like this fund.
Precisely. This makes XRP potentially more accessible to those big financial players in Asia who might have sat on the sidelines before. It's another step in the market maturing, integrating with the mainstream.
Makes sense. So, to leave our listeners with something to think about, here's a final thought. Given this Hashkey Ripple move and XRP's focus on payments,
Yeah.
what other kinds of opportunities could pop up as TradFi and blockchain keep getting closer, especially in a dynamic market like Asia Pacific?
That's a great question. With payments being disrupted, regulations evolving, lots of potential innovation there.
Definitely food for thought. This XRP tracker fund seems like one significant marker on that road.